We're coming to you live with a breaking news audio. It's 8:30 in the morning on the
Bro,
in the Midwest. What?
Eastern.
Well, Eastern is 9:30. So
I
I
know.
literally just woke up. Like I took a shower. I got
I
out
don't
of the
know.
shower.
I feel like you didn't just wake up 'cause I got a little snap ski of your ceiling fan.
Well, okay, so like mentally, I just woke up because I went straight to the shower and then I came back and I see a text from Ryan Falcone that said they have Daryl on the New Japan store for the English one, so I have to go buy that. But Breach,
Wait. Hold on. The New Japan store is open today?
the New Japan like English store or something.
Bro, I'm about to drop. Bam.
I can't find the link. Anyway, that's not important right now. So I get a text from Stevie Breach, and he sends me like the whole thing. He says breaking effective today, Friday, April 10th, 2020. WWE and the Revival have agreed on their immediate release from WWE. We wish them all the best in their future endeavors. And then he says wow, and then he says hashtag FTR. And I saw that, and I was like, okay, well, first off, I don't think Breach would be like, I don't think he would type that out just to like, mess with me. So I go to Twitter, I go to WWE's Twitter, and there it is. They have the link to the website and everything. Pretty much the same thing. They agreed on their immediate release from WWE. We wish them all the best in their future endeavors. They got future endeavored April 10th. And here's the thing. Now, for a lot of people who get released from WWE right now, everyone's like jumps on board with, oh, they're going to AEW. But most of the time, they're either not going to AEW or they want to work on the independents or New Japan, Ring of Honor, whatever. But here's the thing. The Revival are a tag team that have been a part of being the elite and Young Bucks world, you can say, for the longest time. Now everybody remembers like the whole like FTR was a big thing because they were going back and forth on Twitter, and then people like were chanting it at shows. They were bringing signs, and then the Revival took that hashtag and they ran with it on WWE TV. They used it on their like jackets, on their tights. I mean,
to this
like,
day, no one has ever said what those initials stand for, though.
well, that's the thing because it started on
Like,
being the elite, and it could mean anything.
Remember when they say, "Do you get it?" And I messaged you one day. I'm like, "Bro, I don't understand this. What do you mean? What do you mean? Do you get it? I watch all these shows. What am I missing right now?"
Yeah.
I still don't get it. 5 years later, or something like that, or 4 years later, whatever. Whenever it started, I'm making coffee currently. We're doing this podcast. Like, what do you do today? We woke up and made coffee.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
And then like they had the whole thing where in Japan someone stole Nick's bag, and that was a real thing. And they turned it into a storyline where the Revival, they didn't say the Revival, but the Revival stole Nick's bag. And then on top of it, in a WWE Backstage.com segment, they had a clip of someone getting interviewed, and in the background you see the Revival walking in back with a backpack, the same looking backpack as Nick said was stolen. I mean, these guys have been cross-promoting for the longest time, and it is amazing. And now, I know it's sad that you leave WWE, and like that's everyone's like, oh, like WWE is my dream, like I always want to work there. But these guys have been feuding for years, and they weren't even working in the same company. And I couldn't be happier for someone to get released. I know it sounds crazy, but it was one of those things where even if they got released, on a bad thing, it was still like they have a job. They just have to fight with WWE over it. And honestly, when I saw Dash Wilder in that Edge documentary, I was like, oh God, like he's never leaving. You know what I mean? Because he played such a role in that documentary. And I was like, he's never leaving. But apparently he is. And I mean, the only thing we can see now, unless they go with the independents for like a couple months, and then they end up on.
Well, they can't do much on the independents because no wrestling shows are going
on. Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like they might get right away because no wrestling for a while.
I think, honestly, let's be honest here. I think we might see him at All Out.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say you're gonna get the match, dude. You're gonna be like Young Bucks versus
so you think
whatever they call
sooner?
FTR. They probably call themselves FTR.
Imagine they show up like the first TV back Imagine they show up and everyone goes nuts. They call themselves
You
FTR.
don't give away on the first show because the first show is already hyped.
No, no, no.
You
But
gotta.
like they debut. Like they don't have to wrestle.
Oh, like end of the show?
Yeah.
No, they show up at the end of what is it called? Blood and Guts.
Oh yeah. Imagine
And they
that.
come out in the inner circle or something, or they help the inner circle, or they do their own faction.
I think they should just be a tag team. I think they're going to be one of the best tag teams in AEW. They're so great.
You're
And
saying
here's the thing.
they're gonna
What?
come in blood and guts. They're gonna make the inner circle win, but they're not even part of the inner circle. They're just here to mess shit up.
Yeah, they're just here. What is it like? I don't know. I mean, like when they started selling shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees, I was like, oh man, like they're really taking this FTR to heart, you know? And like
Gotta make
it's
the
just
money.
it's just cool to see. And now like I know it's like crazy to like be happy that someone got released from a job, but especially in this time, but everybody knows what's next. And
Hey,
like I
look at
said,
this guy. Look at this guy tweeting one day we will wrestle the revival and
yeah,
everyone will rejoice. Remember this
yeah.
tweet? You had that screenshotted or
Matt, no, okay, so here's the thing. So there was a day a couple years ago where Matt Jackson and I think it was Dash Wilder, they both tweeted. So Matt Jackson tweeted, "One day we'll wrestle the revival and everyone will rejoice. Remember this tweet." And that's since been deleted. And then Dash Wilder tweeted, "One day we'll wrestle the Young Bucks and everyone will rejoice. Remember this tweet." And then Scott Dawson quoted it with a little like clock emoji, and everyone went nuts because it was like, oh my god, like this is a thing. And now, I mean, it's bound to happen. And so the funny thing is, so I tweeted a picture of me and the revival in 2015 at WrestleMania 31 Access. They were the first people. Well, they were the first like people at the NXT booth that I met, because I met Hornswoggle and I met Danny Davis, and I forget that, and you could see why I would forget that. But they were the first people at the NXT booth. There was nobody in line. They weren't the revival at the time. They were just two scrubs that I had no idea who they were. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll get them to sign my poster. I'll get a picture with them. My picture's blurry because the person didn't know how to take a picture. And I asked them, I was like, that was the first people that I met that I asked, hey, can we throw up the two suite in the picture? They threw up the two suite. You can see like me and Scott Dawson two suiting, and then Dash Wilder's going for the two suite, kind of like over under kind of thing. And then when they were going back and forth with the Young Bucks on Twitter, I was like, you're not gonna get that. Like that is like a rare picture, because you got so it's still early in the morning. We have technical difficulties, but that's okay. What I was saying was like the revival runs the revival. I got a picture with them, and years later when they became the revival, I was like, wow, like I'm so glad I got that picture, because now it's a thing. And the fact that they're doing the two suite, and like no one in WWE can do that except for like Triple H and NWO and maybe AJ Styles and Finn Balor, but that's about it. But it's so crazy that this is like this is happening today, and it's like again,
see
it's not,
when you met the revival, you threw up the click, you got all that gimmick, and then that's like the rare picture now.
yeah,
And I meet the revival, and they just do the peace sign, and they look like kind of whatever about meeting people.
yeah.
What
Like
a time.
it's one of those things that 2015 NXT booth at Access was the place to go to. You had so many people that became stars now. So,
Except Sammy Callahan, but he works for a different company.
well, yeah. I mean, you had Alexa Bliss, Sami Callihan, Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Kenta was there, Sasha Banks was there.
You met all those people? So you just met
I
Owens
didn't meet
and
all those people. I'm just naming off the people that were at that booth that weekend.
Tyler Breeze
CJ
and
Parker, remember
Revival.
CJ Parker, who's now what's his,
Juice?
yeah, Juice Robinson in New Japan. Like there was a lot of people at that table. I think Zach, I forgot what his Twitter is. In Zach We Trust is his old Twitter. I think it's Zach Brown 19. He has a picture where it's like four people. On the end is Finn Balor, and like CJ Parker is just thrown in there. There's two other people just chilling, and then he's at the end like with Finn Balor because he just wanted to meet Finn Balor, but it was awkward. Like, oh, well, I just want to meet you, but there's other people too. So
Sure,
yeah,
there's a Griff got at SummerSlam with like Rollins, Triple H, what is it? Owens, I think it's Sasha Banks, Finn Balor. Like it's just a bunch of people.
hmm. Well, Justin, do
Steen
you have anything
on the
to say?
corner.
Because I kind of just ran through this whole thing.
Well, I'm gonna say All Out in Chicago, Bucks versus Revival or whatever the tag team name is, FTR or I don't know. Um, I say it's just gonna be another. They're gonna be on the podcast on Jericho's podcast, and they're finally give their grievances, and they're actually gonna be over
Mm-hmm.
after the show. And the Young Bucks love tag teams, and they apparently love the Revival. So like, it's gonna be actually big for them versus like maybe someone else trying to come to AEW, and they're like, oh yeah, we could use you, but it's like maybe not.
Yeah.
Just because you're WWE doesn't mean we're gonna actually use you. I don't know. I think it's gonna be good. I wasn't freaking out as much as you were, dude. I woke up and I saw them. I'm like, that's all right. I mean, let me post this picture on Instagram, and Mike's freaking out, calling me breaking news. We gotta do this right now.
It's
I'm like,
just
all
one
right.
of those things that it's like, you knew it was going to happen down the line, but you didn't know when. And I was not expecting it now after that Edge documentary, and it happened. So that's crazy. I mean,
Also,
obviously, what?
what's it say? I think it wasn't that crazy now because not much wrestling's going on, and they have a limited crew, and they don't really need to be there. So instead of their contracts ending and WWE paying them, since they know they're gonna get released, they're like, well, might as well release them. Not like they could just go show up to AEW next week and like be
Exactly.
on the show. So like because AEW is already taped for like a month, I think, and like WWE is planning to tape for a month. So it's like
Yeah.
the earliest they're gonna show up is what Double or
May.
Nothing.
Yeah, double or
Yeah.
nothing.
So it's
And
like
that might
might
not
as well
even happen.
now.
But
It makes so much sense.
honestly, from this point forward, being the Elite is must watch because you know that they're gonna like film something. You know, they're gonna throw in little bits and pieces for the next, however many months until they show up. So
So
that's
what's your favorite? So you're such a mark for the Revival. What's your favorite Revival match?
they had one. Shoot. I don't watch NXT that much, so I don't know. I just like the Revival because one, I met them, and two, they've had this feud with the Young Bucks that I knew was going to turn into something. But I don't know. They have a match of the year one time, and that was really good. I remember watching.
I
I
was
don't remember
there.
who it was with.
There for that. That was the match
What?
I was there for.
Oh, okay.
DIY Revival.
DIY versus the Revival. Yeah.
NXT 2016. I was there. I was live. That was a 5-star match, dude.
It's not like I'm the biggest Revival fan. I just,
Nah,
it's
dude,
one of those
I
things.
be on the spot in the early morning. I just,
If they're connected to the Young Bucks in any way and they're in WWE, I want the best for them. Like it's like a tree of like from the independents, and now they're in WWE, and but I don't know. That's it for today.
let's hold on. AJ Styles says he doesn't want WWE to do many cinematic matches. Keep it special. Makes sense.
It's fine with me. Sign me up.
What
Here's
do
the other.
what's the deal? What are you planning on doing today now?
Well, first off, I was gonna say, there was like a year ago, I was at Target and they had a Revival like 2-pack figure that came with the NXT tag titles and like a stairs, and it was like $3. So I bought it for my AEW figure collection. So shout out to past me. Today I'm gonna
$3.
go to Target. What?
$3?
It was like $3 or $4, yeah.
Oh,
Today I'm gonna go to Target, and then that's about it.
that's it. Are you going to
Yeah.
play Animal Crossing all day? That's it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Animal Crossing is the must today.
Well,
What about
I
you?
have a show today. I have
Yes.
a comedy show from 8 to 9, and I'll be doing that. I don't know. This is the first time me trying out this bit, but the only thing good about this is I'm able to throw my notes on the screen. So whatever, we're gonna run with it.
There you go. And we'll do like a little, I don't know what the word is, like a review, like a recap of that tomorrow. So
Brew, life of comedy part 2.
yeah. So this will be a long running series on the channel. And with that, Justin, it's your day today. Go ahead.
Well, this is the end of the podcast, and I'm the greatest of all time.